morning, Cardinal fans. Eric back in the Birdgang Fan Cave along with my co-host Brian. Voice is back, Brian. I'm feeling great. I don't know, I had to shake off that loss in Pittsburgh, but I was a little under the weather, so we skipped a week. I think we need to stop doing that so we stay on the winning track. Your thoughts on the game and going forward?
Well, there's no question it was disappointing. You know, I thought we could have went up there on a 2-game road trip and actually get 2 wins out of this one, and we just kind of let down. Second half let down and gave up that game. We definitely beat ourselves. It wasn't Pittsburgh beating us.
Yeah, I think, I still kind of trying to put together the thoughts about and pieces about the game and stuff. And you think maybe the team game planned too much for Michael Vick, and they were worried about his scrambling capabilities. And, third-string quarterback, nobody game plans for that anywhere in the NFL. So I think maybe that was where the focus was. Nobody knew the NFL didn't know what to expect with Landry Jones. That was his first pass in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Landry Jones that necessarily beat us. I think Martavius Bryant had a big day. A couple passes, he made some things happen, but just didn't execute. A lot of penalties, tons of penalties. Obviously, we had a chance to win there at the end, driving down. I felt like we had a lot of time, and we kept going to the air. Maybe we should have ran the ball a little bit, but I know we were getting some big chunks in the air, so that's probably why we kept at it.
Yeah, and I believe it too. We need to run a little bit more. I think the run game is probably going to be in focus Monday night against the Ravens. I don't know, their run defense is kind of depleted. That whole team is pretty much kind of depleted. Their secondary definitely, I don't think, can keep up with the likes of John Brown. Speaking of John Brown, what a day out of Johnny Brown, huh?
Oh, yeah. I don't know his actual stats, but he definitely looked really good.
I want to say somewhere in the range of like 13 passes and 150-some yards, only because I have him in fantasy, and he kicked some butt for me in my PPR league.
They said it was the best game stat-wise yet, so...
But, what comes to matter then, too, is touchdowns. It's got to be touchdowns. And, I heard Bruce Arians talk about it on the radio this week. He said, coming down to that last play there, Carson was having a field day with John Brown, and he just figured, hey, I can hit him. Didn't see the safety, whether he saw the safety or not. But when you're going to your money guy all day long and it's working, why not try to put the dagger right there and go at it? So we'll be back in another second and talk a little more football. Fans, Eric and Brian back in the fan cave. Just wanted to give a shout out. I was sick and we didn't have plans to make either one of these 2 road trips, Detroit and Pittsburgh. But shout out to the fans that went out there and represented. I know we saw some of them, plenty of pictures on Facebook. You've seen some in our opening trailer. It excites me. It kind of saddens me not to be there. I wanted to be part of that thing and part of the group with the fans out there. But it's definitely catching on. The fans are going. It's more and more fans on the road every week, and you're seeing them representing in the stands. You're seeing them shown on national TV when the games are being played and stuff like that. So, it's a great thing. I think the fan turnout is starting to build.
Yeah, you're starting to realize who the dedicated fans are, seeing the same faces. I know in the opening intro video there's a few familiar faces in there. So it's nice to see that they're out there consistently week after week, and hope to speak with some of those guys. I know we have in the past. So.
Yeah, some of them fans are definitely racking up the mileage getting on those road trips and stuff like that. I know, speaking of superfan Kenny with his license plates, so he flew from here. He was in Fort Lauderdale, Orlando area, somewhere in Florida on vacation with his wife. They flew into Pittsburgh for the game and back to Florida, and now he's back in Phoenix. So that guy's all over the globe just following his Cardinals around. A passionate, super passionate fan. So looking ahead, Monday Night Football, primetime. Baltimore Ravens come into town. Hopefully, I won't even say an easy win for us, because anymore, nothing's an easy win. But I'm expecting good things. I'm expecting the house to be rocking. Tailgating starting early this Monday night, so hopefully you're calling in sick to work, or you've already arranged that time off so we can get out there and get our tent set up. We're going to be in the Green East lot again, as we normally are. We're going to be wandering around, doing a little checking out some of the fans. We'll come film some more fans. We'd love to put you in our trailers and our videos and show you off. We got a couple special things here. You got one there chilling on your beverage, keeping your beverage cooled. So the Cardinals and stuff, we like to say, protect the nest. So we want to hand out some stuff to some special fans that we find walking around. Protect your beverage, right? You can always protect your beverage when you're tailgating. Luckily, it won't be 100 degrees Monday night, so the beverages won't get too hot. But it's always nice to hold on to it. Your hands don't have to get cold or wet. So we got the Birdgang official koozies, and those we'll be out selectively handing those out to some fans that we see. You got to really be putting it down. If you're putting it down at a tailgate, you know, we're gonna have to come up with some kind of qualifications maybe to get some koozies and stuff like that, because they are limited edition. We have quite a few, but we want those fans that are out there just going crazy and having a good time to enjoy some of our Birdgang swag. Any other thoughts on Monday night, what you're looking forward to? Or
I'm just looking forward to being able to catch a game on a Monday, take the day off from work, and get out there and you know, get back into the nest. No question about it that it's hard for any team to come in and win a game.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we're back at home, maybe capture another win, hopefully, and you know, set us up for you know, the rest of the season. No question about it.
Definitely, I hope so. I mean, you know, sitting at 4-2 right now, we're still in a position. Depending on, let's see what happens this week with Seattle and San Fran. So that's an interdivision battle there. Somebody's going to go get a win, and somebody's going to get a loss in that one, basically. So we'll know where we sit better. But I think we're sitting pretty in the division. We just need to start wrapping up these games that we should win on paper.
Yeah, it's like anything. These are warm-up games. You know, it's the teams that play the best towards the end of the season are the teams that are going to have the shot at making it all the way. So we need to take advantage of these games and work on things and make sure we're winning these games. But we need to continue to play well throughout the entire season.
I'd have to agree. So let me ask you, Brian, what's your thoughts on the acquisition of Dwight Freeney?
Yeah, it's you know, obviously we have a need at the linebacker with who got hurt this last week?
Alex Okafor.
Okafor got hurt.
He's out 2 to 4 weeks.
His calf. So it's nice to see Freeney. Maybe he's got something left. I know they worked him in a little bit this last game, but
yeah, I think little by little, maybe this game we'll see a little bit more of that pass rush and stuff. I mean, he was out there as a presence, but you know, and of course he's a presence because the opposing offensive line, they know who Dwight Freeney is. You know, he might have lost a step. He might not be in mid-season form right now, but he has a legacy. So, you know, when you're lining up against Dwight Freeney, the nerves got to be pounding a little bit.
It was just like John Abraham. We brought him in, and he made a big difference for us. You know, there's no question that maybe Dwight Freeney's a little bit older, but who's to say what he has left? I'm excited to see what he has to bring.
Yeah, definitely one of the things I'm happy about is that we've scaved through these road games without any big injuries. We haven't lost really any key players for the season. A few minor, you know, bumps and bruises, and these guys are returning the next week and stuff. So we'll be back in a few more minutes and discuss the final thoughts on Monday Night Football. So Cardinal fans, we're back. One thing we forgot to mention, Brian, is after Monday Night Football, we have a really short week. So there will be a show in between there. Hopefully, we're planning on it. But we're off to Cleveland. Cleveland's going to be an exciting trip. I know I'm watching the weather, so to see how much we have to bundle up, I kind of ordered myself a special sweater, a Cardinal sweater. Tried to talk Brian into getting one. He wasn't ready for one yet. I think he's got a nice warm jacket. So, fans, we're going to be heading off to Cleveland on the road trip. Taking in on Friday, we're going to take in the NFL Hall of Fame. So be sure to follow us on Twitter, Birdgang Road Crew on Twitter. We're going to be periscoping live from the NFL Hall of Fame. So we're going to bring you an inside look. If you can't make it to the Hall of Fame yourself, and you always wanted to check it out, you always wanted to see what they got. I mean, anything at the Hall of Fame you're excited to see?
I've never been there, so I'm definitely excited about it. We should be there probably about 10 in the morning on Friday.
10 Cleveland time, so it'll be a little earlier in Phoenix. The nice thing is, though, is if you do have the Periscope app, you can open it, and if you follow us on Periscope, you can go back in and watch the video after it's already been cataloged into or archived, I guess. Just click on the link, and you can follow it on there. So again, on Birdgang Road Crew, Twitter, follow us. Watch for the pop-up. There'll be a blurb on Twitter, or a tweet. I shouldn't say a blurb. That would be blurber instead of Twitter. So there'll be a tweet with a link to the video feed for our time at the NFL Hall of Fame. I'm super excited. I know they say you can spend 3-4 hours walking around there. So make sure we take in the history of the NFL and stuff like that. We're also going to try to stream live. I know the NFL allows us to do it. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on Saturday. And of course, we're going to be celebrating Halloween in Cleveland, so we're still working on our last-minute costumes and stuff. Fans, if you're out there in Cleveland making it for the game, or if you live in Cleveland and you happen to be a Cardinals fan, I know we've been contacted by some in the area on Twitter and through Facebook. Get a hold of us. We don't have any tailgate plans right now. We're just kind of going to meander around through the tailgates and stuff. We'd love to meet up with some fans out there, get to know you. We're bringing some of the Birdgang koozie swags and some wristbands on the road. Always good to get some fans those. And so that's it. If you watch our Twitter feed and stuff, we'll be coming live. I'll be doing live pregame Sunday morning inside the stadium. We're going to be in nice and early. We're sitting right there on the front row as always, right?
Yep.
Front row crew. Maybe we should work in some new shirts or something. So it's exciting. I'm just hoping. I don't want to jump too far ahead. We want to get this win Monday night. Party at the Nest. Have fun. Show national crowd that the Nest is the loudest stadium in the NFL. Let's get some false starts on the Ravens and take them out of the game early.
Yeah. It would be nice to see some fans when we're out there. No question about it. When we make it into Cleveland. Obviously, Hall of Fame. If some fans can meet up with us, or some of the nightlife on Thursday and Friday night, we'll be out, and then Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we're staying right downtown, right in the thick of next to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. 2 blocks from the stadium, so we're going to take it all in down there and see what Cleveland has to offer, and hopefully no snow.
Oh no, and hopefully we should be at the Cardinals Hotel.
Yeah, we're going to try. We're going to come live from the Cardinals Hotel either Saturday night or well, it's Halloween, so we don't know. Maybe some of the players will be dressed up, or maybe we'll trick or treat the hotel and see what the players are giving away. We can knock on Larry's door and trick or treat. I don't know if the team security will appreciate that, but. We'll be out there, and then Sunday morning, pregame before we head to the stadium. It's going to be super early with the 3-hour time difference for here. So go back on and watch the videos. They'll be up on there, and then we're going to put some snippets on the Facebook page and stuff like that. So, all right, fans, Eric and Brian back in the fan cave. Leading into our final segment, we put some questions out there on social media this week. We have our first segment starring Arizona Cardinals kicker
Chandler, the Catman Catanzaro.
So we're going to head out and speak with him. Some fans have tweeted us in and Facebooked us some questions. This is your chance to get up and close and personal with the player, learn a little bit more about him outside the game, or your overall thoughts. So we got some great fan questions coming up, and we're going to head out right now, a la Wayne's World style, and talk to the Catman. Doodaloo, doodaloo, doodaloo. You're supposed to do it, man.
Oh, I thought it was just you.
No. Come on. Arizona Cardinal fans, Eric with Birdgang Live out here with the Arizona Cardinals kicker Chandler, the Catman Catanzaro. Cat, first of all, thank you for coming on the show and stuff. I know the fans, I appreciate it huge. The fans appreciate it. They want to get to know you a little bit better. So we have some questions and questions, and we're going to get some answers from you.
Definitely.
And just happy. So we had some fans submit some questions. They want to know what makes the Catman tick, what outside of football, and just get to know you all overall a little bit better. So
sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Start out with our first question. Our first question comes from a Facebook fan, Rio Trinidad. He wants to know, which is kind of probably what a lot of people want to know too, is how does it feel to play with the great and future Hall of Famer Larry Fitzgerald?
Man, it's just a dream come true being on the same field as that guy. I mean, he's done so much, and he's done so much. He's used his platform in the right way. He's just a good person. I mean, what you see is what you get with Larry. Anybody who knows him knows that.
Yeah. So as a veteran and his training regimen and stuff, does he help you out with any of that? Give you any tips or?
Not really. He kind of just does his own thing. I've got to know him away from football, a little bit on the golf course. He's a good golfer. So we've had a good time getting to know each other, and he's, like I said, he's just a really stand-up guy, just a great leader.
That's good. That's what I imagine that he is. I mean, he's got to be a great person to have in that locker room for all these young guys coming in too. So. Next Facebook question we got from Adam Price. Adam wants to know, being 6'3", 200 pounds, I don't know if he's guessing your weight correctly.
Yeah.
How many positions did you play before settling on being a place kicker?
Yeah, well, I started playing Pee Wee football when I was probably 7 or 8, and I actually started out as a wing back in the wing tee, and then played a little quarterback as well in Pee Wee. JV, played quarterback and receiver. And then varsity, I played a little bit. I played backup quarterback and a little bit of wide receiver as well.
Yeah, definitely. So you could have had a bunch of options, and then because nobody comes out at 7 years old playing Pee Wee football saying I want to be a kicker, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I wasn't athletic enough to make the cut for the college big time ball with the quarterback and receiver position, but luckily I made it as a kicker.
So next question, Facebook again from Carissa Ramirez. We'll jump away from the football scene a little bit and ask you. She wants to know, do you have a favorite pre and post-game meal?
Pre-game meal, it's more like trying to get as much down as I can. I've got the butterflies going a little bit, I'm not going to lie. But
does that ever really go away, being a kicker? I mean, you got to have that no matter what, right?
Yeah, I don't think you're human unless you do have them. To me, it means that I'm focused. I'm ready to go. So I try to get a little pasta in me, like some carbs, get that energy up, get some grilled chicken, maybe a PB&J sometimes if I'm not feeling the chicken.
Ever any snacks on the sideline or anything?
They've got some protein bars for us in the locker room, so I'll have one of those at halftime. And then post-game, I always like to go to Fleming's Steakhouse with the
nice little plug for Fleming's.
Yep.
Been there many times. Next question, we got a two-part question coming from Michael Personi. Michael's actually lives in Dallas. He was out the last home game. He's a big Cardinals fan repping in Dallas. So
appreciate that. Yeah, it's big time.
So he says, since all kickers kick soccer style, and you kind of touched on this a little bit, did you play any soccer at first, and did it help you with becoming a kicker?
No doubt. I played soccer pretty much my whole life, traveling soccer back in South Carolina, and so that definitely helped. I mean, I actually didn't start kicking the football until my junior year of high school, but playing soccer helped with the leg swing, the natural ability, and I kind of just took it and ran with it from there.
Sweet. So his second part of his question is, in your entire career, is there a kick that you always want to remember and one that you'd like to forget?
Yeah, no doubt. That's a great question. I think, my college career, was probably the most memorable kick was the Chick-fil-A Bowl against LSU, putting it through down by 2 with 2 seconds left.
Now, do you ever remind Patrick Peterson and Honey Badger of that kick?
Not too much. If they want to bring up, Clemson, I'll talk a little smack. But but the one I probably want to forget was my first miss last year against the Rams, a 53-yarder. I had a nice little streak going to start my career, and that was what ended it. So that's probably the one I wanted to forget.
So let me ask you this. I want to know, because obviously I'm date myself here. My question would be for you as a kicker, your thoughts on the whole barefoot kicking thing. Where are you old enough to even have seen a kicker in a game kick barefoot?
I've seen highlights, and
now, do you think that was because everybody thought, well, you get a better feel for the ball, or shoes weren't maybe molded the right way back then?
Probably the latter. Probably the shoes weren't molded that way back then. I don't know how the soccer cleats were or whatever, but that's what we wear now, obviously. But I've tried kicking barefoot and it hurts really bad, so I don't recommend it.
So you wouldn't advise it for anybody out there starting a kicking career to work on the barefoot stuff?
No, I'm not for the barefoot kicking.
Good. So we got next question coming from Captain Cardinal. So of course Captain Cardinal, see him at all the games. He wants to know, how do you mentally prepare for a game?
Mentally prepare for a game. It starts literally the day after a game, going to the next game. Monday I get in there and I watch film for probably 3 days, get all that out of the way, see my fundamentals, my technique from the previous game, stuff like that. I also do some, obviously I kick during the week, prepare that way, work on my technique, refine anything that needs to be refined, and then I do some visualization stuff Thursday and Friday leading up to that game on Sunday, visualizing success, visualizing myself performing at the highest level possible.
So preparation any different based on if you're playing at home in the nest on an indoor stadium, or if you're on the road, say wind factoring? Do you look ahead to that at all?
No, not at all. You don't give any credence to the wind, the field conditions, any of that. It's the same kick every time.
Okay.
Yep.
Good to know on that. Next question we got from Daniel Doyle Hammonds on Facebook. How do you focus when kicking a game changer in a rival stadium full of opposing fans? Great question.
Yeah, great question. It's something that I've learned and kind of adapted to, and it's what it comes down to is, like I've been talking about, trust in my preparation, just full trust in my preparation, trusting myself 100% every time I step on the field, whether that's an extra point or a game changer, like he says, a game winner or a game tire. Right. Just gotta trust in the preparation. The swing stays the same. Nothing changes.
Okay. Next question from Sarah Sarton on Facebook again. At what point in your life did you realize that professional football is what you wanted your career to be?
It's funny looking back at my road, and I always wanted to be either a doctor like my dad, or a professional athlete. Didn't know that was professional football. Especially didn't know that I was a kicker in the National Football League. But basketball is my favorite sport. But it's just funny how all my paths led to where I am today. So I always dreamed of being a professional athlete, but never thought I'd be a kicker in the NFL.
So to expand on that a little, then, you're looking ahead to life after football. Obviously,
yeah.
You're still young in the league. You got a lot of years left. Where do you look to go after that?
Well, the NFL stands for not for long for a reason. So, and I know that, and that's why I dedicated, most of my effort on academics. That's what I focused on in college at Clemson. So I was a biology major, biological sciences, and I'd like to go to med school.
So we might see the Catman doctor once the career's over kicking. So a couple last questions, and we'll finish it up. Kind of a funny one here. So anybody ever Charlie Browned you during practice?
Charlie Brown, the good old Charlie Brown. It's funny. It's funny when I saw that question. Dave Zastudil probably wouldn't want me to say this, but it wasn't in a live drill during practice, but I think it was OTAs. This previous OTAs actually, before a live drill, we were working on some stuff, and I was going to kick, and he pulled it for me. I actually made a little contact with the ball, but it looked horrible because it didn't even reach the end zone.
Yeah.
But he pulled it from me.
You happened to see that kick the other night in the game, or last week in the game, where the whole
at San Fran. Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
That could have cost a leg right there.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad he's healthy after that one. That was crazy.
So great question here. This is going to be one of my favorite ones because I know he wants to know. So my co-host Brian, who's not with me today, he wants to know your 40 time. And do you ever think we'll see you in the field goal option play a la Jay Feely?
A la Jay Feely. I hope so. I've seen the Jay Feely highlight, and it's pretty cool. I'd love to do a fake at some point. We'll see. My 40 time is about a 4.8. That's my best is probably 4.75, but I'd guess probably around a 4.8 at this point. So we'll see. We'll see what BA draws up.
As long as you get some blockers out front, it might work out.
Yeah.
So outside of football and stuff, what's your favorite thing to do in Arizona away from the game?
The golf is great out here, and the weather's always nice. So love to get out on the golf course. I've been lucky to play on some pretty cool ones. So definitely get out on the golf course.
Okay. And how about favorite NFL stadium away from the nest to kick in?
I really liked how Detroit felt. Kind of odd, but it's indoor and it feels kind of close. You feel like you can really bomb it in there. So I'd probably say Detroit.
Detroit. And what about the least favorite? Maybe
least favorite, actually, especially with the dirt in the preseason, Oakland.
Oakland?
Yeah, no doubt about that.
So one last question before we wrap it up. What do you focus on when you're lining up for a field goal? Is there anything particular you're staring at behind the goalpost? Do you try to pick a spot and just say, okay, this is dead center, this is what I'm locking on, or do you blank all that out and only see up to the goalpost?
Yeah, it's a great question. And if you watch me on TV or on the side, from the stands, I do the same routine every time. I line it up. My target line, I'm picking a target in the upper deck somewhere, and that's all I'm looking at before I give the nod to Drew Butler to hold it for me, and for Mike to snap it. So looking at a target beyond the uprights.
All right, so we hope you hit plenty on Monday night.
Yeah.
At least a lot of extra points.
Extra points, maybe, yeah.
Actually, a lot of extra points Monday night versus the Ravens. So we're going to wrap it up with Chandler Catanzaro. We'd like to thank you all, Birdgang, for submitting your questions. I'm Eric with Birdgang Live. Chandler, the Catman Catanzaro, thanks for coming out again. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bring it on Monday, Red Sea.
All right, Cardinal fans, we made it back from our interview with Chandler Catanzaro. Special thanks out to him for taking his time out and doing that for us here at Birdgang Live. One-on-one exclusive kind of interview with him. So we hope the fans appreciate that. We're going to try to bring a little bit more each week, and based on the player schedules, our schedules, and see what we can put out there. So make sure you watch our Twitter and our Facebook. If we put a question out there, submit it. We'll put your question on air and have the player answer it, and go from there. So with that said, we're going to wrap up the show for the week. Cardinal fans, we'll see you in the red zone.